What is going on, guys? Manga 12 here, and we are back with Ultimate Spider-Man issue 27. And at the end of the previous issue, we saw Mary Jane get thrown off what I thought was the George Washington Bridge, but it was in fact the Queensboro Bridge. So yeah, as you can see, that's what the difference is between the 616 universe and the Ultimate Universe. Gwen Stacy in the 616 universe was thrown off the George Washington Bridge, and right here in the Ultimate Universe, Mary Jane is thrown off the Queensboro Bridge. So yeah, I hope I'm saying that right, by the way, guys, but yeah, so we're going to find out the fate of Mary Jane. Did she die? Did she live? Well, let's find out and let's jump into it. So we jump into the issue and S.H.I.E.L.D. is there just as Nick Fury told Spider-Man. Now we're getting it from the S.H.I.E.L.D. point of view, and as you can see, Nick Fury is talking to one of the people that are in the helicopters flying above Spider-Man and Goblin, and he says that Goblin dropped Mary Jane, and that is when Nick Fury tells the guys to take the shot, and they start firing away at Goblin while Spider-Man is diving off the bridge after Mary Jane, and it gets a little intense. But it's going to take a hell of a lot more than a few bullets from a helicopter to take down the Goblin, and Goblin reassures S.H.I.E.L.D. that he will not go down so easily. What's even worse is that this thing between Norman Osborn and Nick Fury is personal, so that means it's going to get even more intense throughout the issues. But now we go back over to Spider-Man and Mary Jane on the ground, and as you can see, Mary Jane wakes up, thank God, and imagine having to wait a month to find out whether Mary Jane actually lived or died. So when this issue first came out, the Ultimate Spider-Man comics released once a month, so imagine that cliffhanger from the previous issue, not knowing whether Mary Jane survived and having to go through the entire month waiting for that. But luckily she's alive, and I'm actually glad about that because she's actually one of my favourite characters in the Ultimate Universe. Her and Peter Parker alongside Aunt May are pretty much the main characters of the Ultimate Universe right from beginning to end. So yeah, I absolutely love Brian Michael Bendis for making sure that she stays alive. But going on throughout the issue, you can see that Spider-Man put Mary Jane in a taxi and told her to go to the abandoned warehouse and wait there for him. Spider-Man could not believe that he literally almost lost Mary Jane, but now he's taking the fight to Osborn, and he is angry. And of course, he's pretty much on the edge right now because he's just had his girlfriend almost die from being thrown off the bridge by Goblin. And if you remember in the 616 universe when Gwen Stacy actually died, Spider-Man pretty much killed the Goblin for killing Gwen Stacy in the 616 universe. Like, I know the Goblin killed himself by accident, but still, it's pretty much Spider-Man that did it, and it was awesome. But that just shows the fury that comes out of Spider-Man when something like this happens. And as you can see, he's beating the living crap out of Goblin right now, and he's not holding back. Goblin manages to get his hand around Spider-Man's neck and he launches him off the edge of the bridge, and that is when S.H.I.E.L.D. open fires again, this time blasting a huge rocket at Goblin, and this is when Goblin takes the opportunity to escape while Spider-Man is trying to web sling back up on top of the bridge. And as you can see, Goblin is trying to escape right now, and Spider-Man actually swings around into the wall, watching Goblin scurry away. And not only is Goblin rushing away, but S.H.I.E.L.D. is following him. By the time Spider-Man grabs his bearings, he pretty much has to follow these guys back to Osborn's place. And Peter has pretty much figured out where Green Goblin is going, and he's come to the conclusion that Goblin is going after Harry Osborn, his son. And that all means Spider-Man has to protect Harry, not only because he's his friend, but also because he's Norman Osborn's son. That's not going to go down too well with the father killing his own son, so Spider-Man's got to get there as fast as possible. But as you can see, Goblin has got back to his penthouse. He opens that locked door that contains all of the Oz Formula serum, and he tries injecting himself again, but Harry walks in the room and sees the Goblin standing before him. And what you've got to remember is that Harry was hypnotized to think that this Goblin creature wasn't real, so for him to see it again is literally going to tip him over the edge. But also, Goblin says the word Celador, and that instantly puts Harry into some kind of hypnosis sleep. And that is because Norman Osborn has paid the therapist to do this to Harry, so every time he hears the word Celador, Harry's going to pass out pretty much, and that is something that Norman Osborn has done to make sure that he can maintain control over Harry. But Harry Osborn has been hypnotized so that every time he hears the words Celador, he's pretty much going to pass out, and the words Celador also are going to have a bigger meaning in the future of the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, especially with the journey that Harry Osborn is going to be on throughout these issues. Now, as you can see on screen, Spider-Man has followed Goblin back to his penthouse. I have no idea where S.H.I.E.L.D. is, but I assume that they're just outside. And Spider-Man has gone in there again to face Goblin, cracking all of these awesome jokes again. What I absolutely love is that Spider-Man has come out of this serious situation looking brighter on the other side, and he gives this whopping punch to Goblin's jaw and starts kicking the absolute crap out of him. And what you've got to remember is that Goblin has just re-injected himself with some more Oz formula, so he's back up with power again, and he starts throwing Spider-Man all over the place, throwing him through the fish tank, as you can see on screen, and of course throwing him all over the room, destroying everything, and pretty much obliterating Spider-Man's costume. Spider-Man isn't going to come out of this with his suit intact. As you can see, Mary Jane's going to have to go to work on that Spider-Man suit once he returns because, well, there's literally nothing left of it. But anyway, Spider-Man is out for the count by the looks of it, and for the final moment, Goblin grabs Peter's skull and holds him around the neck in his grasp. Harry Osborn wakes up and witnesses this, and of course, that means that has Harry Osborn seen Peter Parker as Spider-Man? What is he going to do? What's going to come out of this? Well, you're going to have to wait until the next issue, because that is where the issue ends. Again, with an awesome cliffhanger from Brian Michael Bendis. So guys, what did you think of this issue? Let me know in the comments section below. What do you guys think is going to happen with Harry Osborn? Do you think he's going to know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man after all this? Or do you think that he's just going to think it's all in his imagination again? Well, guys, let me know in the comments section below. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. All the action was perfect. The artwork, again, is phenomenal, as always. And just the jokes that Spider-Man cracks whilst he's facing Goblin is just as awesome as ever. So, guys, 9 out of 10. Go to the links in the description to follow me on Twitter and Facebook for all the comic book news. And, of course, to hear when these videos are going to be up. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram to see what I'm doing when I'm not making these videos. And, guys, for more, hit the subscribe button. And I will see you all in my next video.